Alright, I believe this is number 5, and probably will be my last one tonight. But I wanted to tell you, I am not proud of the way my family was treated at all. I find it offensive, I find it abusive, and the people that did it, they're supposedly the educated ones amongst us, and they treated us with so much lackluster. You might as well say that we were just, I don't know what to call it, railroaded. It's a term you might be familiar with. I feel it. And I'll never believe that girl's story. I tried to get them to get some DNA. Maybe that was just too much to ask. They didn't want to. They had a bigger case about that same time. And of course, everybody, well, not everybody, some people take it how it comes in stride. But a lot of people will skip the littler cases to go for something bigger. And the bigger one in this particular instance was a murder that involved what I later found out. My neighbors, no, wait, that's a different thing. The guy was burned alive or stuck in a trunk and set on fire in a car or something. But that was the bigger of the cases. Alright, it got like the whole big top part of the paper, and then ours was just like a little blurb, not much on it. And even though we had acquaintances through the 12 and 12, um, nobody called. Nobody said anything. I got one call from a stranger because also they probably may or may not think about it. But when they show that a man has done something, or say a man has done something like that, when they show his face in the paper with the address, if they know anything about whether that man is or isn't married, which isn't hard to find out. Back then we had a listed phone number, and it gave our address, both of our names on there. All they would have had to do was take that address, look up his name, find the number, and see my name on there. And they made me sitting duck right there with that in the paper like that. That pretty much said, hey everyone, this woman's on her own now. Look here, we put her husband in jail. So how you like that for gratitude from a hometown, huh? Set me up quicker than you know what. They didn't have to do that. They could have left that house address out. You know, the name would have been sufficient. Instead of causing me to appear to a fairly large audience of readers to now be on my own. See, that's how they've done me. That's not the first thing. Okay? Their crap in this regard goes way back. John and I stuck it out together. We're very good friends. It would take more than some snooty little daughter who doesn't even know enough to talk to cops when they're standing right in front of her to save her own skin to pull us apart. I guess that's something else they didn't figure on. You know? They didn't figure that I would get on the internet and raise my fair amount of hell about it, right? They didn't count on that. Which is their fault. Because when I made that made that call on her, it wasn't an actual report. It was a trouble call that I made on her. After that, her calls on me were revenge calls, revenge reports. None on her dad. None on her dad, who she said raped her 2,100 times. No reports. And like I first started talking about this evening, I guess it was the first video, I had tried to get a copy of that report and couldn't. But then I started thinking the other day, well, what if I called again and asked for them to give me the date that the report was on without any other information included, just the date to validate that the call was placed by me. Now that might work. I mean, I'm thinking it would. Because her calls or reports to her mom, or they weren't even calls, they were reports to her mom when she went up the next time, which was once a month. But she had U.S. mail communication, and her mother called her. I don't know of any occasion where she called her mom. But she knew how to use the phone. She knew how to answer the phone, and I even had found later, I don't know if I still have it, I probably do, where she had taken a couple of phone messages that while John and I were out, someone had called. There were two calls that I found a note on. So she knew how to work a phone. She knew how to work a pencil with a pad of paper. She knew how to stick an envelope in the drop box with a stamp on it after she addressed it. She knew how to do that. So the problem still is, why didn't she do something about her situation? You know, she had access to knives. She had access to a phone. Several occasions she had walked up to the post office to drop letters in the box. Nobody'd stop her. We didn't care if she kept communication with her mother. Why would we care? I tried to make her comfortable. I'm who suggested to John that we get her a cat, and we ended up bringing all of them home so she would have something familiar. I'm the one who got her hair cut. I'm the one who got her ears pierced. I'm the one that got her feet some high heels, so when, well, not real high, about 2 to 3 inches maybe the most. 2 and a quarter, something like that. Under 3. So she'd look right when she wore a dress to church with my parents. And makeup. She had a little bit of makeup. What girl doesn't like a little bit of makeup? So it's not like there was a huge chasm of indifference between us at all times. I was trying. But I don't get credit for that. You see, in her story, she's not like, well, gee, Veronica at times was a real hag and wanted the house clean, but then there was times she'd let me go to the cabin with her or her mom and dad, or she'd get me some makeup, or she'd ask me what I wanted them to bring me home from the store, or, a surprise red velvet dress to wear on Valentine's Day. Whether I got asked to go to a dance or not, I could still go and look nice and have a good time. You know, where's the credit of, there's no upside to me. It's all downside. If you read what I read of her deposition, you would see that. She downs me. Not one credit up at any time. I struck totally out in her opinion. Never did anything good. Never. Never got rewarded for anything. She got rewards all the time. She got to go off and have a good time. She's still off having a good time. I'm the one having a miserable time. My life totally sucks. She totally wrecked my life. Well, I helped her get straightened out so she wouldn't appear to be a bumpkin from BFE, Missouri, or Iowa. You know, I tried. I don't get credit. Very one-sided. So one-sided, I'm mad now. I I got raked over the coals. I got totally ran over by a truck here, and I can't get help. Even when I called and asked, what can I do to help my son and myself? They didn't have any information for me. You think they've got information to help you? You are in La La Land, and you need to get out of La La Land. They're not going to help anyone. They're out to destroy. They should call it family disservices instead of family services. Even when John called and wanted to get her counseling, that was another hurdle he had to make all on his own, and got her counseling up in Columbia. They have nothing down here to help anyone. Who are you fooling? I have no use for these people. I've been up and down every single one of their rows of desks over the years, and I know how useless and worthless they are. I don't even know why anybody bothers to pay them. Why are they even getting paychecks? Is how worthless and useless they are. They do nothing for no one. If they make their quota, they're out to make their quota. It's not something they just do because they wake up every morning and pull on the let's go save kids hat and do that without a second thought. It's all incentivized. Somebody's going to get bonuses and points out of it, and they don't care about the kids that die in the meanwhile. And there's plenty of that on the net too. I got ripped off during all this. And my little speeches will continue. I don't care who it angers. I don't care who it embarrasses. This is my story and I'm sticking to it. I've stuck to it for all this time, since 1995. I had other things happen to me before that could have been prevented if I could have only got people to believe me. The corruption is real, people. Open your eyes.